Well, Daniel Davis is a senior fellow for defence priorities and a former lieutenant colonel in the US Army. He's in Denver, Colorado, and joins us now. So, Daniel, Antony Blinken has cancelled his trip to China. Was he right to do that?
You know, I don't think that he was. Look, this is not the first time this has happened, and every country spies on everybody. We spy on China daily. They spy on us through satellites and other things, as your correspondent just mentioned. But there's a lot of things going on right now, and the tensions have been escalating between China and the United States, and already the U.S. has conducted unusually low amounts of high-level diplomacy between the two countries. And I think they needed to keep to this, and I hope he gets it back on track very soon.
But Antony Blinken had to do something. He had to make a stand. What else would you recommend he did?
Yeah, he absolutely could address it and say it's unacceptable. Have diplomatic, a row over it and say that, we're making strong representations. But he could have said, we're going to go and we're going to talk about this thing. And we're going to get it resolved at the source while we're also talking about other things. It's not one or the other. You could do them both.
So you'd advocate more diplomacy, more conversations. China,
Absolutely.
Of course, says it is a weather balloon and they've apologised. Do you think it could be a weather balloon?
No, I don't. There's no way. But because the fact that it stopped over the U.S. Air Force Base, it stopped over some of the strategic missile silos for our ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's not a mistake. And I think that they knew we would see that. So I think that it's probably some kind of an intentional message, but I think that it went way off course, and I think it blew up far more than they expected. I think that they're embarrassed by this.
An intentional message. What message do you think they were trying to send, and why do you think they were doing it now?
Well, that's the big question, and I think it's a big mistake because it was coming literally hours before Blinken was supposed to have gotten on a plane to go visit China. But there's also all these issues going on between China and the United States over the issue of Taiwan. And I suspect that China may have been wanting to send a message that says, hey, we know where your ICBM silos are. And if this, gets into an ugly situation, we can take them out or so. That may have been their intent because it certainly stayed over there and they know we're tracking it. So they know we would be aware of that. But again, I think it was ham-fisted and I think it was a bad move by Beijing.
Do you think there is now a danger that the US could ramp up militarily and actually this could escalate?
Well, it'd be hard to escalate above what it has been already. So we certainly don't need to overreact on something as small as this, not unusual weather satellite or a balloon that has come over before. But we've already been ramping up the military stuff. We just signed a new deal for 4 additional bases in the Philippines. We're expanding our facilities in Japan. We've opened up for the first time in 70 years a Marine base in Guam. China, on their side, has also been ramping up, and they've been doing more overflights. They've been sending more drones closer to the Taiwanese corner. So both sides are ramping things up, and that's why this diplomacy is so important, because we need to cool tensions and not let them keep going on their current trajectory.
Thank you very much for joining us.